Hi there and welcome back to Hungary. I am going to be doing a little experiment. I've been seeing this method of planting for all over the internet lately, and it's the snail roll, or as we would call it in Hungarian, a chiga roll. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm going to plant these peppers. I have no idea what peppers they are. I remember saving them, but I don't remember what they're from. So I am not only experimenting with the chiga roll, but with some random pepper seeds. So the way you do this is to take some sort of wrap. I'm using bubble wrap. This is a very common way to use it. The bubbles give it a little bit more structure, which is really nice. It helps to kind of be a little bit more stiff rather than just some plastic. Plus, we're reusing this, and you don't want to pop the bubbles, but it is really satisfying to do so. So this part is roughly 100 centimeters, about half a yard long. And so since these are going to be fairly, well, they're peppers, so we gotta plant them 2 to 3 centimeters deep, about an inch and a half. So we're gonna start off with some well-sieved compost. And with this, you want to make sure that the compost itself is moist. So if you're gripping it, it holds its position, it holds its form, and it doesn't crumble when you let it go. You don't want it to be dripping with water. That's way too moist. So this is absolutely perfect. So we want to take this and we just want to line it up on here. Crush it into little bits if there's chunks. We'll just kind of give this a little bit of a structure here. Now, depending on what you're planting, it depends on how much soil you want to actually use, how thick you want to actually use it. Because I want to leave these for a little bit longer, I'm going to give this a little bit more soil, so that when I unroll it, there's a decent root structure that is exposed. So we want to do this quite wide. So I'm doing this around about 5 centimeters, no, like 6 to 8 centimeters deep. There's a little bit of a lip on both sides. I'm going to do this as far as we can, so as much area as we have. And I'm doing this about a centimeter and a half deep in terms of the thickness of the soil. But you can just kind of eyeball it and see what works best for you. There's a big stick. Get rid of that. That will be detrimental. Okay, now to do this part, we take some seeds, random seeds, and I'm going to do basically just a line, evenly spaced around 1.5 centimeters apart. And give these a shot. And hopefully these all germinate. That would be amazing. And then we'll start to roll this up. And because I don't have a whole lot of room at the end here, that one collapsed, so I need to do more. I don't have a whole lot of room over here, so we have to roll this up and then continue. And I'm really curious to see what seeds these actually are. They could be bell peppers. I don't think they're spicy peppers, because the seeds themselves look a little bit different. So these are either some Palermo sweet peppers or bell peppers. So we are good there. So I'm gonna put these back in there. And I like to always close those things so that they don't spill, because sometimes that happens. And really quickly, just gonna mist this really finely. Too much, because you don't want it to be too soaking. And then we'll just start rolling this in. You want it to be fairly secure, so fairly tight. And the reason we want to do the lips on the side is because when you start rolling it, the soil will start popping out on the edge. And I realized you can't really see this. So, there you go. So we'll be rolling this, and we don't want it to be too tight because it will push out all of the soil and the seeds along with it. So just continue to do this and make sure that the seeds are still sitting well within the area that they are going to be growing. Okay, now we've come to the end there. So I'm going to do a little bit more soil. I'm going to flip this around so you see it a little bit better. So we're going to do a little bit more soil here. And just based on the amount of difficulty it was when I'm rolling this part up, I'm going to get a little bit less soil because I don't want to just push everything out. So that is a lesson learned. And I'll just kind of sprinkle these. I have a lot. Now we'll continue to roll. And when you get to about this area, you want this to be free. You don't want soil here because we have to wrap it around and make sure that it is finally secured. And since this is the top, I'm going to put this in here. Putting this in here will give me a good structure to keep this in. And then I just want to make sure that all of this has a bit of soil. Maybe poke a little bit down in here. Just to make sure that the soil itself is not, it's not lost too much soil. Any sticks, I want to take those out. Actually, I have a great idea for this. I have a really old bowl, which will work a lot better because that will sit here and allow me to get this well watered and keep it watered. Mix this quite well. This is when you do want it to be a little bit soaked, moisturized. And then we'll just let this sit. And since this is sitting in a bowl, I don't have to worry about putting a piece of tape on here or a bit of string. And now this is just gonna sit here and hopefully grow some peppers. I'm very excited to see how this fares and see how it turns out, as well as to see exactly what peppers I've just planted. So I'm going to be giving some updates, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you later. Visam Patasha, and goodbye.